going, guys? My name is Calm Yang. I'm a rank 8 Bronson main player in the game. I just want to go through my personal view of tier list of the items in Arena Battle Champions. So, starting at the bottom of the bottom, let's see what we have here. We've got Arena Life Magazine. Fills your special charges and grants you 30% movement speed for 5 seconds after spawning. This is going to be an F tier for me because in order to get the benefits, you gotta die, you gotta spawn. Definitely the number one thing you don't want to do in this game is die. You're going to try not to die. Alright, then we got Crushing Spanners, 12% damage to towers. Although this can be pretty useful, and this item can be utilized in a good number of ways. Sorry. Unfortunately, the value of other items trumps this item. We got Fidget Stone, 18% faster regeneration, which is okay. It'll get you back out in the fight faster, but it won't really be useful in the long run or during fights. Next item after that is 13% damage to minions. With the minion skewer, that's actually pretty good for CC, but again, there's just more items that have value. Let me start moving on to D tier. We've got the Nimbus Kicks, which actually, it's not that bad. Giving you that 11% movement speed can be useful for certain characters like Silver that are rather slow. But again, it's a D tier because there are items that have more value. We've got the Titanic Cleaver here. 13% damage when you're above 75% health. At 13%, that growing damage, it can actually get bigger. It will cap up to 15. It'll be pretty good, but at 17% health, what's going to end up, 75, keeping your character at 75% health is pretty difficult. And once you get below that, it'll be pretty hard to beat. Now, we got Royal Runners, 40% movement speed for 5 seconds after hero kill or assist. It doesn't provide enough value. 40% movement speed after killing a character. You're gonna have to get to the point where you can actually kill a character first. And Phoenix Fizz is actually surprisingly another epic item I find in B tier. The fact is that you have to die in order to spawn. There have been some tricky plays that you can do with this item, but a 200-second cooldown with the potential of maybe 150-second cooldown. It's a huge cooldown for spawning. It's not worth it. All right. Then we got going down to C tier. Now this one can be controversial because the Links of Sealed Fate is a hard C tier for me. Other players, they live by this item because of the potential for how dangerous it can be. Of course, for me, the major drawback is first off, you have to die in order for its effect to work. And a lot of players tell me that this item is good because it doesn't have any cooldown. Well, technically, a cooldown is your life. A lot of the times, players who use this item, they get overconfident and they'll kamikaze in, knowing that they'll do links. But it's kind of hit or miss. It's really good for if the enemy team has a lot of consecutive win bonuses against your team, and you just need to do one epic stand. But it's really hit or miss. We got Hero Bane here, which can go all the way up to 15% damage to heroes. I wish this item was higher on my list, but unfortunately, there was another item that took its place in previous. Usually attack boost items are huge. Attack boost items can make or break the game, but capping itself out at 15% damage is the reason why it's stuck here at C tier. Now, here's the first legendary item that I have deemed C tier, and that's Parascythe. And Parascythe has the potential to be an amazing item, but it's the major fault within this item is that it doesn't let you heal off grid anymore. A lot of the times, that means that you're gonna have to get dangerously close in fighting in order to have any potential for this item. I have seen good use in Jhin. Jhin, because of her level 10 ability to heal in the grass, regardless. And actually, I've seen a couple of Silvers, generally because Silvers have the ability to just stay as far away as they can from the enemy. But then, for the general population of the characters, it's kind of useless. And then in C tier, also at the final item C tier, we have the Healer Aid. Now, Healer Aid is the best starting item, in my opinion, because it gives you 50% maximum health with the potential of 90-second cooldown, which is great. The fact that it can heal you, especially if you're losing a battle, you'll be able to regain that status. Unfortunately, because of the cooldown rate and the 50% health, that's where it keeps it a solid C. It's not that bad for a common item. Moving on to B tier, we've got the Pin of Thorns. Deals 100% damage to receive back to attackers for 5 seconds. This is actually a pretty good item. I personally really like this item. A 90-second cooldown. It's I kind of wish I could get a bit of better score, but it's a pretty firm B item to me. Then what we got here is the Momentum Pumps, which I found surprisingly good, which is why it's definitely a really good item in B tier, because the fact is that it gives you a 42% boost for 3 seconds after your special ends, which basically means that it gives you an additional ability after your special. That means every time you use your special, you get 40% movement speed. It's definitely really good for Bronson, especially if you're trying to get in and get out real quick, and without that movement penalty that comes with, engaging in a fight. Now, second item we have on the agenda is gonna be the Mithril Bangle. Now, this is a solid B tier item, almost A tier item, but it didn't have enough value. The reason why it's a B tier, it's such a solid item, is because the 15% health boost, definitely can make the difference between life and death. And if you give it to a tank, it's enormous health boost. It means that any tank that ends up with the Mithril Bangle will be impossible to kill. After that, we've got the Coiled Fang at B tier. 40% health on hero kill assist. Basically just, allows you to continue your rampage as you fight. Fortunately, it doesn't really go past B tier because you do have to get to the point of killing the character in order to get value off of this item. But it's still a legendary item, still B tier solid pick. Alright, after that, we've got the Battle Turbine. Gain special charges every 4.5 seconds, which can be an enormously valuable item for characters that have specials that you want to spam, like Silver. You definitely want to get his special being used as often as you can. Get that DPS charge out. Omega, you definitely want to keep his special with you at all times. After that, we've got the Staff of Ancients. Now, this one actually slept on me for quite some time. It's got you a 20% damage boost when your special charges are full. Now, I compare that with the Hero's Bane, and it definitely gives you at least a 5% damage boost. The difference in being is that you can actually use it on minions, and surprisingly, it's not that difficult to get to the point of your special. Now, the reason why it went into A tier is because it also gives you a damage boost on the first attack of your special. And of course, if we're talking about Silver, then it gives you the entire damage boost of the entire ult. But then if we're talking about Roy, it'll give you that first boost. So Roy's definitely more challenging to use this item on because you'd have to fill out your entire special meter, which requires 6 builds. And of course, it'll be great for a character like Donis, where you want to be strategic with your ult. You want to hold your ult for some time because it takes so long to get your ult. then you get that 20% damage boost while you're just holding the ult. And of course, you've got the Power Pod. Power Pop can be useful with most characters. I mean, it's not really that useful for Bronson because he can actually get his ultimate so fast. But the reason why he's an A tier is because characters like Donis, in which you can stun people, or other ults that have just massive value, the ability to just activate the ult again as soon as you can, or whenever you need it to, is very, very valuable. And an A tier is Soul Saber. Now, the beautiful thing about Soul Saber is that it has 4% damage per kill, maximum 10 stacks, meaning it actually can stack up to 40% damage, which is an amazing item. I always recommend it. Love it when I'm in the game and just stomping over everybody because they don't expect me to have 140% damage a boost total. I mean 40% damage boost. Sometimes I even combine it with Staff of Ancient, make it a 60% damage boost. The small drawback of this item, of course, being that you have to actually survive for 10 lives. Survive and take 10 of your opponent's lives. It definitely gets easier as the game progresses because you'll get that consecutive damage boost to last throughout as long as you're able to stay alive. Moving on to S tier, we've got the Auric Ale. I personally always recommend this item. It definitely is useful for every character. Yeah, if you're a Braun player like me, it'll allow you to go in more aggressively. Then you can just Auric Ale out of there. Or even if you're a Silver player, then you can just keep it at hand. Wait for someone to push you, Auric Ale, and then you got a way out. Now compare that to the Refracting Shroud. Refracting Shroud exits combo and becomes invisible. Now the beautiful thing about the Refracting Shroud is that it actually puts you in a state in which you can start re-healing your health. The difference of these two S tier items is that the Auric Ale allows you to use your ults while it's active, and allows you to still attack and do damage. Refracting Shroud does not. You can, of course, disable it and come back into the fight from invisibility. The reason why Refracting Shroud is so good, though, is because it does have a 50-second cooldown, which means that you can basically have it for every fight, as opposed to Auric Ale, which has a 90-second cooldown. Alright. And that is my Arena Battle Champions tier list. Again, this is my opinion, but this is just something to get you guys started on looking at how these items are stacked and how they have been used, at least in my experience. Have a great day.